In this video, we're counting down 10 absolute gems you can finally import legally in US. From rally beasts to drift kings, these cars have been out of reach for too long, but not anymore. Get ready, because this is your ultimate guide to owning a slice of JDM golden era. If you're new to the culture of Japanese sports cars, JDM stands for Japanese Domestic Market. The term's definition has changed over time. However, many people in the car community agree that it must be sold in Japan or be a Japanese spec to be a true JDM car. So, no, the left-hand drive Supra sold in the States doesn't qualify to be a JDM. The time has come, and the wait is finally over for the Mona Lisa to come in United States. No, not that Mona Lisa. This one. The Nissan Silvias are some of the first cars you think of when you look back on Japanese sports cars. There's a solid reason for that. Through its powertrain, aesthetically pleasing exterior, and affordability. You might have seen the S15 in video games, like Forza Horizon, or movies like Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift. The Silvia S15 was produced in 1999 to 2002, making the first batch of cars ready to be shipped to America. Under the hood of the S15 was the highly praised 2.0-liter straight-4 SR20. There were three versions of Silvia S15, Spec S being naturally aspirated, the Spec R being turbocharged, and to spice things up there was a convertible version, the S15 Varietta. The S15 is one of the most recognized chassis in the drifting community, and there is a wide array of aftermarket parts available. It is the last of its kind in the Silvia lineup and will continue its legacy of experiencing a new set of land to drive on. Price starts from $20,000 for a basic model Spec S, and going up to $50,000 for a turbocharged Spec R. The Varietta is a rare convertible model, and it's generally less popular than the hardtop Spec R. Its average price is around $35,000, depending on the condition of the car as well as the mileage. At this point, let me tell you that this isn't going to be a budget-friendly list. I will soon prepare a video for budget-friendlier models, and you don't want to miss it. So please, hit that like and subscribe button and never miss the future content. Now, back to the cars. Do you want something fast and practical, but you don't want Audi Avant? Well, now you can import Stagea 260 RS Autech models from production year 1999. The Nissan Stagea 260 RS Autech is a high-performance variant of the Stagea wagon, produced by Japanese tuning company Autech. You might be wondering why the Stagea looks familiar. That's because the front end resembles an GTR R34. Just this one has a backpack. So is the Stagea a Skyline? No, the Stagea isn't a Skyline. But Nissan built it on the Skyline R33 platform, with the Stagea sharing most of the R33 sedan's mechanical components. Nissan and Autech made only one mistake while developing the 260 RS, and that was for not calling it the Stagea GTR. The Stagea 260 RS came packed with the infamous RB26, a 2.6-liter twin-turbo inline-six engine, paired with a 5-speed manual and all-wheel drive. That's some serious heat for a Japanese wagon. Japan's auto manufacturers, in the 1990s, were known to downplay their sports car specifications, especially when it came to power. The RB26 engine is said to have 280 horsepower in its stock version, but it feels like it produces more. Stagea comes with upgraded Brembo brakes, limited slip differential, upgraded suspension, 17 inches BBS wheels, Autech badging, and an Autech body kit that includes unique side skirts, front bumper, and tailgate spoiler. The average price is roughly around $35,000, depending on the mileage and the condition of the car. Often considered to be the holy grail of Subaru Imprezas, the 22B STI was a limited production high-performance variant. Sure, the Impreza 22B doesn't exactly come to mind when you think of the top 10 JDM cars to import, but there's a reason for that. A total of 424 units were produced during a 5-month production run, making it one of the most rare Subarus. With the majority being sold in Japan, it wasn't easy for Americans to keep this car on their radar. The Subaru Impreza 22B was a commemorative car to celebrate Subaru's third consecutive title in the World Rally Championship. Under the hood, a 2.2-liter turbocharged engine produced 276 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque. Unlike the base Impreza, the 22B model received a wider body to match the aesthetic of a Subaru rally car. Rally Blue Pearl was the only paint produced on the car. It comes with 17 inches BBS wheels, 5-speed transmission, and Bilstein suspension. Also, there are water injectors, controlled by a switch in the cabin, to cool the intercooler down when driving the car hard. Impreza 22B STI was produced between March and August 1998, so maybe it's not too late to find one on the market. That being said, they rarely pop up for sale in Japan and come with an astounding $215,000 price tag. Let's now move on the more budget-friendly car, at least compared to Impreza 22B model. If you're not into drifting or you are blindsided with the other JDM cars, then you might have missed the 6th generation of Chaser, the JZX100 model. Toyota built this sleeper of a car and is widely prolific within the drifting community for 3 reasons. The Chaser is affordable, has an abundance of aftermarket parts, and comes packed with the 1JZ GTE. The engine alone is one of the most sought-after engines for drifting or car builds because of its potential to upgrade and boost. Even though the Chaser looks like a boat with wheels, it surprisingly handles very well when going side to side. It is common to see these cars drifting, and it's a solid, reliable platform to get your foot in the door of drifting. The 6th generation of Chaser was produced between 1996 and 2001, so there should be plenty opportunities to find ideal one for yourself. Unlike most of the cars on the list, the Chaser price averages around $25,000, which won't burn a huge hole in your pocket, just a small one. If you are considering to import small roadster and one of the Touge racing legends, then Honda S2000 is perfect choice for you. The S2000 is a front mid-engine open-top sports car that was manufactured from 1999 until 2009. The production version was launched on April 15, 1999, to celebrate the company's 50th anniversary. A 2-door roadster, the S2000, was built in 2 evolutions, the AP1 and the AP2. AP1 is earlier version, which can be imported, and it comes with 2.0-liter inline-4 engine with 247 horsepower. In the JDM community and the car community as a whole, it became one of the most sought-after models. Also, one of many reasons why the S2000 received so much recognition was from appearing in the first and second part of Fast and Furious movies. And incredibly capable, the S2000 has established itself as a cult car, not just in tuner circles, but automotive fans in general, having seen a significant appreciation in price for valued examples in good condition. The average price for this roadster is roughly around $33,000, depending on the mileage and the condition of the car. This is the Evo everyone's been waiting for. The Mitsubishi Evo VI is one of the most anticipated cars you can legally import in 2024. Mitsubishi evolutions are centered around the sport of rallying and formed a famous rivalry against the Subaru Impreza STI in the World Rally Championship. Without getting into too much detail, the Evo VI was the car that reached the climatic point against its competitor, Subaru. Similar to its predecessors, the 6th generation Evo was never sold in the States. The Evo VI entails the legacy of Mitsubishi's win in the 1999 Group A World Rally Championship. All Lancer Evo generations besides the 10th shared the same engine. The 2.0-liter turbocharged inline-4 produced 276 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. With the car being produced from 1999 to 2001, the 1999 models are available to be imported this year. It won't take long for one to sell when it pops up, due to it being one of the most sought-after Evos of all time. This is the last pure homologation of Mitsubishi's Evo, and it doesn't come cheap. Average price is around $35,000. Also, this model has a desirable trim called the Tommy Mäkinen Edition. This is considered to be the most collectible Evo, with exclusive features and a lightweight design, but for that trim you will have to prepare to say goodbye to your $120,000. From gravel roads we're going back to tarmac. The classiest car on the list gotta be the Honda NSX. No other car on the list was developed with the help of the F1 legend and champion Ayrton Senna. The NSX has a great story with Honda developing a car based on the Ferrari 328. Aspects such as performance and luxury were the main concerns when building this 90s icon. Honda's revolutionized design was achieved through a lightweight aluminum body, which can be seen in modern performance cars such as Audi R8. When looking at the history, the sheer amount of dedication, trial and error, and research is apparent in the Honda NSX. Did you know that Honda NSX inspired the legendary McLaren F1? In the late 1980s, Gordon Murray, designer of Formula One racing cars, was overflowing with ideas for his ultimate car design. He looked at the best-performing Ferraris, Porsches, and Lamborghinis to set the bar for his McLaren F1. When he tried driving the Acura NSX, he found the benchmark, as Murray put it. Of course, the car we would create, the McLaren F1, needed to be faster than the NSX, but the NSX's ride quality and handling would become our new design target. The NSX came with 2 engines, the C30A 3.0-liter V6 without VTEC, but what you want is the C32B 3.2-liter V6 with VTEC in models after 1997 production year. The 290 horsepower and 224 pound-feet of torque might seem low today, but when you take into account the development of its power-to-weight ratio, you'll see why the Honda NSX was built light. The average price for a Honda NSX is roughly $90,000, depending on the model year, mileage, as well as the condition of the car. Now these next three models are the holy trinity of JDM. Starting from the first one, if you have watched Initial D anime, then you are familiar with Keisuke Takahashi's Mazda RX-7. If you didn't, I highly recommend it to watch. For those of you who have watched, I know. Now you will say that his FD is from 1991, and you are right. But there was a 8th series of Mazda RX-7, which was produced after 1998, and it was exclusive to the Japanese market. The final Series 8 of the Mazda RX-7 featured numerous upgrades. Model received more efficient turbochargers, improved intercooling, and enhanced radiator cooling. Other modifications included changes to the seats, steering wheel, instrument cluster, and an adjustable rear spoiler. 3 power levels were available, ranging from 252 horsepower for automatic transmission models to 276 horsepower for high-performance variants. The top-of-the-line Type RS came with Bilstein suspension, 17-inch wheels, and a weight reduction. Power was increased by a less restrictive muffler and more efficient turbochargers. It also featured upgraded brakes. The limited edition Type RZ shared these features but was even lighter, with exclusive BBS wheels and a red racing interior. The most collectible version was the Spirit R, limited to 1,500 units, and combining features from previous special editions with new elements like cross-drilled brake rotors. It came in 3 models: Type A, 2-seater with manual transmission; Type B, 2+2 seating also with manual; and Type C, 2+2 seating with automatic. Average price for RX-7 start around $50,000 for standard model, and going up to $90,000 for Type RS and Type RZ models. Of course, these prices can fluctuate based on the car's location, overall condition, originality, and any aftermarket modifications. Spirit R models, especially the Type A, are in high demand. Prices for these can start around $80,000 and can exceed $120,000 for low mileage or well-preserved examples, particularly in the exclusive titanium gray color. It was clear as the day that the Supra would be a top contender on the list, even though the production started way before 1999. So you are probably asking now, why is then this model on the list? Here is the answer. Supra Mark IV was discontinued in America by 1998, but Toyota continued making models in Japan until 2002, adding more options, features, and trims. So, if you want to fetch yourself a younger Supra, now is the time. If Nissan GTR is king of the JDM, then Supra is definitely a queen, but with full authority on its subjects. Without going into too much detail about the beast of an engine, just know there's a reason it's one of the most legendary tunable platforms. Also, Supra is highly desirable JDM model, but that also come with the price. In 2024, the prices of Toyota Supra Mark IV models vary widely, depending on condition, mileage, and amount of modifications. Highly modified Supras can be found for around $60,000, such as examples with aftermarket parts or engine swaps. Original or lightly modified models with low mileage are priced much higher, often around $120,000 and $140,000, depending on the edition and condition of the car. The one, the only, the king of JDM has arrived. Of course, the R34 GTR was saved for last, and if you guessed that correctly, hit that subscribe button. GTR is often seen as the ultimate JDM car. The R34 marks the end of the golden era of Japanese 90s sports cars. Some say you should always go out with a bang, and that's what Nissan did when building its last Skyline GTR. The 9th generation of Nissan Skyline, which is known as the R34, was introduced for the 1998 model year. The R34 was offered in sedan and coupe body styles. The most well-known and sought-after variant was the R34 GTR, with its 2.6 twin-turbo inline-6, commonly referred to as Godzilla. The GTR was an all-wheel drive, high-performance variant that featured Nissan's legendary RB26 engine. Production of the standard Skyline lasted until 2001, but the GTR was built until 2002. The R34 GTR came in several exterior colors, but the 3 most desired are Millennium Jade, Bayside Blue, and Midnight Purple. One of many reasons why the R34 received so much recognition was from Paul Walker and his role in the Fast and Furious movie franchise. After waiting roughly 20 years, the first production years are legal to import. However, the market for this Skyline isn't looking too great, with an average of $135,000 and reaching upwards of $675,000 for certain trims and features. So you probably need to keep saving for this one. Also, with constantly rising prices of JDM models, it would seem to you that you are chasing unicorn. So there you have it, the top 10 JDM cars to import right now. High demand for JDM cars remains strong, and prices are expected to continue increasing, driven by the popularity of Japanese performance cars and limited availability of unmodified examples. I can remember well, back in 2008, I had money for used Civic, but was dreaming about Honda S2000 and Supra. Back then you could buy a very decent S2000 for around $12,000. And twin-turbo Supra was less than $25,000. Which now sounds as dirt cheap for those cars, don't you think? Tell me, if you have a chance, would you buy a Bitcoins 10 years ago? You got the point.